busyness doesn't actually always equal to productivity. Our best sometimes is given in busyness, and we think that that is the way that we can determine whether we're giving our best. But I want to really break down this idea because busyness is not always a great indicator. Busyness is not a way to actually determine if we're giving our best. Welcome to the It Matters podcast. I'm your host, Walter Perez, and let's dive in as we help you grow your mindset and elevate your leadership. Hey everybody, welcome back to the It Matters podcast. Thanks for joining me on another episode. I hope all of you are doing amazing, doing great. Hey listen, Christmas is around the corner. New Year's is around the corner. How are you feeling? Are you excited? Maybe you're not feeling that great about how this year has been. Guess what? There's only a couple of weeks left and you can still make some choices and decisions that can change all of that. You can move forward and still be proud of this year because you are ending on the right page. Not only that, but then that gets you started on the good page too going into the new year. So you don't have to wait until January 1st to make decisions, to make different choices. You can actually make them now. And I actually recommend that because New Year's Day, as many have said, and I agree with this, it could just be another day. So start now. Don't wait. Don't wait until the first of the year to, make some changes. Do it now. And that's why I've kind of, the last few episodes have been set up in a way to inspire you, to get you to think, encourage you, challenge you in a way so then you can actually make those changes now. And so today's no different. I wanted to bring you an episode and to encourage you a little bit, but to make you think. So I got a question for you. A couple of questions actually, and this is it. What or who is getting your best? What or who is getting your best? And the follow-up question to that would be, what or who is getting the rest? So this is a super important question because a lot of us might feel like we're giving our best, but what if it's being directed in the wrong area? What if it's actually the thing that matters most don't or are not getting our best? So here, it's not a question about if you're giving your best, it's a question about who or what is getting it. Okay, let's just be clear on that. So the important part, why I wanted to talk about this is because I think we are living in a culture, we're living in a time where our best sometimes is given to the things that drain us. The things that drain us, that suck life out of us, is what is getting our best. And the things or the people that matter the most, the things that are the most important to us in life are actually getting the rest. Have you paused? Have you stopped and thought about that? Have you focused or just, even written down what is getting your best these days? I wanted to really think about that and focus on that a little bit because sometimes we make up these weird illusions or we make up these ideas that how we're living our life is actually the only way and that is the only thing that we need to do. And so I wanted to just create this conversation, okay, for all of us to think as we head into the new year and to really do a diagnosis, to do an audit, we'll call it. Let's do an audit of where we're at. Because when we have a reality check and we do this type of work, then we can actually assess and decide whether or not we need to change, whether we need to move some things around, and what am I going to do differently if I want some different results. And one thing that we need to maybe talk about is that busyness doesn't actually always equal to productivity. Our best sometimes is given in busyness, and we think that that is the way that we can determine whether we're giving our best. But I want to really break down this idea because busyness is not always a great indicator. Busyness is not a way to actually determine if we're giving our best. See, sometimes when we're giving our best, it doesn't mean that we're actually being faithful to the best thing that we should be giving it to. It doesn't mean we're actually giving our best intention, our best purpose, our best time, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to talk about Why this illusion is important to identify, because this is what happens, okay? And this is something that I've learned over time. I've learned from many other people, and this is the thing, that our work sometimes gets our clearest thinking. So there's this illusion that we're giving our best, but the question is that where our clearest thinking should go? Now, I get it. Some of you are going to say, well, I got to pay my bills. I got to provide, of course. But we have to think long term as well. So this is the thing. Our clearest thinking sometimes goes to our work. How about this? Our best energy goes to strangers sometimes. People that we don't really know, people that we really don't care about, they get our best energy. Here's another one. Our social media gets our best attention. This is something that I am always assessing and checking, because you know what? It's so simple. It's so easy to get up in the morning, first thing, without doing these other things that are best for us, and we grab our phones and we start scrolling. We get home and we start scrolling. We scroll during the day. It's a way to kind of kill time. It's a way to just kind of pass time. And the reality is that it's getting our best attentions. And have you thought that the people that actually matter the most, the people or the things that matter the most, are getting our leftovers, are getting the rest of whatever is left in that day, in our energies, in our best, in our attention, in all of that. And so I really wanted to chat about this, because sometimes we do the things we do, what we call best, for the applause. We give it to the people for the attention. But in reality, we are not actually giving our best to the things that actually deeply sustain us, the things that actually make us tick, the things that actually give us life. We're not giving our best in that direction. And so I wanted us to stop and think as we continue through this conversation today, and start thinking and assessing and going, okay, is that me? Is there some things of that Walter has just said, are they true? What is it that I'm doing? And do I need to tweak a little bit? All right. The other part is here that I want to bring to attention, and what we need to understand, that yes, we're giving our best to something, that we actually are giving our best to things that probably sometimes don't matter as much. But we also need to understand that our best is a limited resource. There's a limitation to our best every day when we wake up, every week, every month, depending on the season we're in. Our best always has a limitation. There's a boundary, a capacity issue there. And so we need to understand that, so then we know how to adjust accordingly. So you do not have unlimited best. Okay, that's what I want you to hear. You do not have unlimited best, so you need to have priorities. You need to know how to prioritize. What am I prioritizing, you may ask? Okay, well, let's give you a short list here of things that you should consider, what it entails when we're talking about best. What about your energy? You need to prioritize your energy. How is your energy used during the day? You know, somebody once told me, I wake up every morning with a cup full of energy, and sometimes it gets drained really quickly early in the morning. Sometimes it'll last throughout the day. But understanding what drains me, what doesn't, where my cup is throughout the day is super important. So where is your energy? How are you prioritizing? What about your emotional presence? Do you know that your emotional presence has a capacity? Sometimes you have a greater capacity, other times you don't. How is it throughout the day, and where are you at your best? What about your focus? Definitely. I think some of you can assess and know that your focus is better at some parts of the days than others. It doesn't matter when, it's understanding when it is, and then knowing how to use it and utilize it in a way that actually feeds you and makes you better. So your focus is a limited resource. What about your patience, man? Maybe some of you are thinking, well, oh man, my patience is always very low and I can't do anything about it. No, that's not true. There's times in the day that you have your patience level really good, and you just have to identify that. But that is a limited resource throughout the day. Your creativity is a limited resource. Have you thought about how that functions in your life? If you run a business, if you're a creative person that has to think and create, regardless, everybody is creative in one shape or form. And so when is your creativity at its best? but it's realizing that that is also a limited resource. And so when we understand that, we can then not only prioritize, but we actually become better stewards of all that. And so your best is going somewhere. Okay, we've established that, and it's just another reminder that your best is going somewhere, or it's being taken from somewhere else. Okay, you're either taking it from somewhere else or it's just going somewhere. So there is a thing that we need to acknowledge here, that your best is going somewhere. And so if we understand that, we then realize that as leaders, we need to have a healthy understanding of that, and that we need to become better stewards, as I've said. So as leaders, I want to inspire you and encourage you. How do we look at this from a stewardship perspective? And so as we move forward, we end up understanding that sometimes our best can be misplaced, meaning that it is available and it is just going in the wrong direction. It's just going to the wrong spots in the wrong areas of our lives or our seasons. And so let me point out a few things that kind of speak to that. Like, what do I mean by being misplaced? Well, sometimes we are looking for validation. Okay, as human beings, we're looking for validations, and our best is given where we feel that we're seen. We want to give it to an area of our lives where we feel seen, so we want to feel validated. Fair enough. As human beings, that is part of that. What about we give our best, or we misplace it in urgency? We give it to the areas that sound are the loudest in our lives, that say this is important. We know that that's not always the case. What is urgent is not always important. And so we need to catch that. What about the idea of fear? We misplace it in fear because we're afraid of saying no. We're afraid of missing out. We're afraid of what people might think. So there's this fear in that. And so we give our best times and energy into those areas when it's not needed. It should have never been in there. Or how about we give it in with this idea or a posture of performance. We want to perform. We want to come across looking a certain way because we're trying to find our worth in that. We're trying to find our worth in that, and because it makes us feel worthy, we think that that's where our best should go. But just because something makes you feel like that doesn't mean we should actually take it in that direction. So sometimes we give our best to the things that reward us, I think is what encompasses in all that list that I told you there. But quickly we forget that it doesn't actually deeply reward us. That deeply there isn't anything there that will sustain us. And so we don't want to go for this quick fix. We don't want to go for this immediate gratification. We actually want to play the long game a little bit on this so we can actually grow, we can be rooted, we can be founded on something deeper, and actually live in a way that not only that it matters, but things that are going to be lasting and be around for a while. So maybe then the question to ask is, who deserves our best? Who deserves our best? And it's just a shift in an alignment. It's a shift in how we think about this. So I got some questions for you that maybe you should think about. When you're thinking about who deserves your best, think about this. Who knows you? Like, who knows you, not just needs you? If we pause long enough, we can probably assess that everybody needs us in one shape or form, for sure. But who knows you? Maybe there's somebody out there that really knows you deeply, and there's somebody that needs your best in that way. What about what will matter, okay? What will matter in 5 years that is not going to matter in 5 days? What's going to matter in 3 years, 2 years? What's going to matter a year from now? That doesn't matter right now. And again, we're talking about what's important and what's urgent. So the urgent wants you to focus just right now. No, but there's maybe more things at play here that we need to consider. And the things that are asking so much of us right now is probably not even going to be around in a few weeks, months, or so. What about this idea? What benefits you, or what benefits when you're present fully? What benefits? Who benefits from that? Not just you being available, okay? You being present. Who wins when you're fully present? I'm guilty of knowing that I can be present in the room, but not available where I am where I can be present and available. It seems like I'm present, but I'm actually just kind of there, but I'm not present here mentally. I'm not present in my heart. I'm not actually present in the way I live my life. So think about that. Are you being available but not present? And where do you need to make that tweak? Where do you need to make that adjustment? Your best, okay, should follow your values. Your best should follow your values, not just your busyness, your volume, your what people think it's just your attention. You should follow your values and what deeply represents you, what you deeply desire, what you deeply want. So your best should follow your values. And so I want you to think about that, because I've been talking lately here about being a healthy, whole, and human leader. And so as healthy, in my perspective, is like a healthy leader is going to protect their energy, okay? A healthy leader is going to protect their energy because that's going to be the best for them. A whole leader is going to be a leader that aligns with all this and becomes an aligned individual of giving their best. That it aligns with your core values. It aligns with who you want to be, who you're becoming, who you are. And then a human leader shows up with things that matter. It shows up to the things that matter the most. A human leader realizes, okay, I need to realize that it matters when I'm present. It matters when I'm here. Okay, so maybe I can give you some thoughts and ideas of some ways that you can assign some of these best issues that you have, or the best things that you're putting forward. How do you reassign it? How do you do some practical things that are just going to make you, okay, refocus? Because this is it. This is the opportunity where you can ask yourself some questions to say, okay, this is not just about me creating new habits, but it's just, okay, I just have to think of this a little bit different. What about this? Who or what currently gets your best? Ask yourself that question. Who or what is getting your best? It's a very simple, basic question to assess where you're at today. What about who or what gets my rest? Who is getting the rest of you? Who's getting the leftovers after you've given your best? It's a very important question, so then you can align yourself. Where is the misalignment? Ask yourself, where is the misalignment? Why is this misalignment happening? What is happening in my life right now that is causing me to live like this? Or what is one change that I can make this week? Okay, sometimes we can get overwhelmed and going, well, the new year's coming up, I got to do so many changes, I got to do things differently. Maybe so, but it starts with one move. And what is that one move that you can do this week that will then take you into next week and the next week, and then you start compounding these changes that changes you and transforms you? What is that one thing you can do? And let me be clear, you don't need to do more. You just need to redirect your best. You are giving your best at something, regardless if you're a high performer or you're just starting out. Whoever you are, you have your best. You have, in this season of life, you have a way that you're giving your best. And so you don't need to add more right now. You just need to redirect. You just have to direct what you're putting over here. You need to put it over there. And so I want you to pause and think of that. So as you continue to, think about the New Year's and you want to make some changes, how can you redirect your best so that you can actually start winning? So you can actually start feeling not only really productive, or you're feeling fulfilled, or you're feeling on purpose, or you're feeling like you're tapping into your potential. What do you have to do to redirect it? Because this is it. I want to leave you with this. It matters. It matters where you're giving your best. It matters where you're giving your best, so you just have to assess what you're doing with that. Because your best can shape the life that you're building. If you start with that notion today, if you heard nothing but this, is that your best matters. And so this is why it's important for me to encourage you to go think about some of the questions, some of the thoughts, and going, okay, where is my best going? Because my best is either going to take me on a good path or a different path. And we want to be able to build a great future that we are not only proud of, that we feel fulfilled, but then we can lead by example. We can lead by example. Not only that, we can win at so many things in our lives. And because around here, we love to say, right? It's a win-win when the leader leads well. And I have no doubt that as you continue to redirect some of these things that you're already doing, that you know how to do, you're going to win and you're going to help others win. I hope this helps you. Thanks for joining me in another episode. I'll catch you in the next time. Bye for now.